Hello, and welcome to the Medics Commentary. Doses of gameplay with an injection of thoughts, critique, and advice. My name is Bluegill, and thank you for joining me today. We are returning to Awesomenauts. It's been a while, hasn't it? I took a break because I didn't really have a good method planned out. The original plan was to just cover every Awesomenauts and do videos about every item, all their abilities. But that proved way too much for one person because trying to do that, it took roughly a week to make a video. And then when a patch came out, some of my work would have to be redone. It proved too stressful and I got discouraged. But I'm gonna try this again, gonna focus less on specifics and talk more about just how to be better at the game. So, we are on the Ribbit 4 map. I am playing as Voltar. A friend of mine is playing as Biddy and Spike, and we have a Rylan on our team. Now, I wasn't having high hopes for having a sniper and an assassin on my team, because there's not too much I can do for an assassin. I can't follow them around and hope for them to just get kills, because assassins don't do very much damage up front. They have to be behind or above them to get a good hit. Snipers, well, you have to be distance away, but it actually turned out quite well in our favor, considering since we were against a Voltar, a Clunk, and a Skulldare. So I think we did quite well. So naturally I used a solar tree to get money faster. I went to heal bot first because I'm more concerned about healing above all else. Not too concerned about getting kills, not too concerned about killing the enemy. It's just about trying my best to keep my team and myself alive. So we've had an update come out a little while ago. We got a new character, some things been changed around, the game's been polished up. It looks a lot better. It's got a really nice style to it, adds a lot of atmosphere to the game. I feel like I can get more into the game worlds. Whereas it felt like a game, it feels like I am Voltar, whereas I'm playing Voltar. It was really hard for me to adjust to Voltar because he got changed around quite a bit in the past few months. It used to be you just hold the left click and he would just heal. And I used to have that set up so I maxed out my healing, it would be 20 or 25 every time. But it doesn't work that way anymore. It works up more like a charge beam than anything. So having that in mind, it used to be you had to click and hold every time you wanted to do a heal beam. But that killed my wrist. It was really hard to play Voltar. And it's hard just to get good healing out of him, which is just the beam. But it seems to be a good soft spot just when the charge starts swirling around you. That seems to be the prime time when you do about 7 or 10 HP. That could change in the future, but just when your charge starts spiraling faster, that seems to be a good time to do it. You get 7 or 10 each time. I think that's the most solar you can get out of a charge beam. So I think that's why people say to do it that way. Because if you hold it any longer, you don't get any extra. So you could heal 20, but you still get just 5 solar. Whereas I think the 7 or 10, you can get 5, or very close to that. And there's also the new Total Basic skin. It is excellent. So important thing to consider when you're playing support. No matter what Awesomenaut you're playing, it's always important to check your surroundings. See what's going on, see if you can help a teammate, see if you can nag a kill or not. I'm just checking out my minimap. The big challenge for this match was try to outdo the enemy Voltar. I tried to check what items he gets so I can compete with him. The Clunk is a challenge because he can do a lot of damage. But as long as my teammates aren't being too mindless, it's pretty easy to work against the Clunk. Skulldare is the big challenge because he can throw people away, which is why I used pushback with the beam. Because when you get enough of a charge, you can push people back. And I find that is indispensable. Because if there's a Clunk about to explode or Skulldare trying to throw someone away from you, bounce them back before they can do that. Because you can save lives much better than just trying to heal them. Because they might not make it after the first hit. Don't just blindly follow your teammates. Sometimes that's when the enemy can get you. Check out the minimap and see how you can get to them. Wait a second if you have to. It's not a race. Take your time. Because your teammates can be understanding. They understand that, oh, he could have got ambushed. That's why he's not here right now. So that's not too big of a deal. It's mostly just keep an eye on Biddy and Spike because my friend playing him, he hasn't played this game for quite a while. So we're both a little bit rusty. So just trying to remember everything and trying to see what's changed as well. But I feel that I can play Voltar quite naturally as I could have before he had his charge mechanic. He doesn't heal as much as he did, but he has some versatility added to him. His heal beam can do damage now. but I haven't gotten good use out of that yet. And you can aim your drones now. You've been able to do that for a while, but it's something I'm still adjusting to. I haven't to aim as support. Just always be aware of your surroundings. Just look up, down, around you. Check the minimap. Whenever your teammates or your droids are out and about, what they can see, you can see on your minimap. So they kind of act like little radars. Even if there's just a little droid walking out into the middle of nowhere, that still gives you a visual if someone's out there or not. If someone's out there or not. When you see the little droid get taken out, that's when you know something's out there. It could be just another droid, but it could be another Awesomenaut as well. It's good to think about that. Who could be out there? Sometimes there's not much you can do to save your teammates. They just go in too far, or the enemy blocks them. Don't beat yourself too badly about it. Just try to be aware that mistakes can be made. So try to think about prediction for both the enemy and your teammates, what they might do, and how you can change that. How you can block an explosion, or how you can repair damage after an explosion. Things like that, even just for droids. Because you need those when you get to the turret. Keeping them little droids alive as long as possible. If you look at the scoreboard, I'm only at Prestige 2. I was focused on Prestige when I first started the game, but I decided not to bother with it anymore because when I knew that I was going to make videos about Awesomenauts, I wanted to have every item at my arsenal. And I don't really see the value of getting a different icon every time. I don't like having to lose my items either. I don't care if I never make it to max Prestige. It doesn't really give the message that it used to. Prestige 10 meant that you spent a lot of time in the game and you knew your shit. Since the game's been out for quite a while, over a year now, it could mean that they could have got that Prestige when the game first came out. They could be rusty and not play the game in 6 months or so. It's hard to tell because someone who has not Prestige, I tend to have the habit of looking at them as a new player or someone who doesn't know the game very well, but that can be easily mistaken. For example, the enemy Voltar, he did quite well, but he never Prestige, whereas the enemy team, the Clone Sculptor, had higher Prestige than me, but that wasn't a problem at all. You don't know how fresh their experience is what I'm trying to get at. So don't let a high Prestige discourage you, because they could be playing that character for the first time in how many months. It's always important to be healing everything and everyone as much as you can, because you get a little solar back for healing. You can get an upgrade that increases that. I decided to went for max healing. I might try Dreams of Greed in another video, but I was more focused on just keeping everybody at full health as much as possible. But I might try that technique where you just I might try a different technique, but it seems to work alright in this match. So I got the pushback and I got increased healing to make things easier on myself and my team. And I got the blind shots. The blind shots will stop enemy droids in their tracks. It won't stop their attack animation, but it's really good because you can push the droids back, shoot them with your drones, have them stop, and it's a great way for you to push back the enemy lane. What a lot of people don't know is when playing as Voltar, you can hover by holding the jump button, but you can also teleport by hovering in the air as well. Just hover and hold the teleport button, and you can remain in the air. That's a really good way for if someone's chasing you and you just hit a jump pad and just hit the hover button, stop in the air, and then teleport away if you need to. When using your drones, you can decide whether to outfit them to have better explosive damage or better shot damage. I prefer the shot damage much of the time because the shots can do more damage than the explosion can. It takes a while for the drones to come back, about 5 seconds or so. You can change that to have 3.5 seconds right now, but I like having the extra shots because say you have your 3 drones, the shots do 4 damage, so 12. You can outfit it to be, you can double the damage and have the attack speed. I find I can do more damage over time if someone's chasing you, whereas you just get one chance to get an explosive hit on them. I find the shots work better in a defensive situation. I like using the euphoric thoughts because it increases your max heal, but I don't think it increases your solar payout any better. So for trying to get as much money as possible, it might not be best for you. It's just when you got a few seconds to charge up and just pow, just 16 or 24 health. If you're in a lane and there's somewhere where you can hide in a bush or somewhere out of sight, I would recommend that because your healing beam does go through the platforms. It doesn't go through solid walls like it used to, but it's a great way to not be caught in an explosion or anything like that. Just try to stay out of the way a little bit, give you some leeway if you have to run away, or if you have to push someone back. What I noticed in this play was, going through the platforms, if you hold down when you hit the jump pad here, you can just make your way down in one swoop. Something I didn't notice before. I don't know if that was intentional, but a good way for escaping attacks. I never go without the Solar Crab Burger because you get your Solar for healing people, and the Solar Crab Burger, you get health for every bit of Solar you get. So that means the better your healing is, the more health you get in return. So you get healed by healing, and that's great for keeping a push strong, or just making you harder to kill in general. When I play Voltar, I max out my healing beam first, and then my heal bot. And then if the match isn't over yet, I go for upgrading my drones. I do a couple and everything. Because I'm more focused on healing than doing damage, it's almost always my drones get upgraded last. Because I try to stay with my teammates as much as possible. I try to stay with at least the drones. I avoid being by myself, because that's when I'm most vulnerable. I can't heal myself very well unless I'm with someone. My heal bot works alright, but you have to stay in an area to be healed, and that can get you set up for an ambush quite badly. When you're in the enemy territory, try to have an escape plan. I didn't think this. It was a little bit foolish of me to go in with Vinian's play because he can't do too much in terms of keeping someone back. He's more better for being aggressive. But we managed to get some damage on the turret, so that's the main thing. Just when you go somewhere, just try to have an escape plan or have at least 2 escape routes that you can take whenever someone's trying to ambush you, because a good enemy will go for the medic first. That's to be expected, and that's a challenge for you to consider when you choose support or Voltar. This match I found myself teamed up with Raylan more often. My friend was focused on keeping an eye on the inner lane and just keeping the bots back, which worked out very well because I can't do much with Vinny. But I was able to do quite a bit with Raylan because she was focusing on doing damage and getting as much money as possible, so that got her powerful pretty quickly, and me keeping her alive, it managed to work quite well. And I went with the turret add-on. I usually go for the energy drink. I go for max healing, but I thought since I saw my friend was being an assassin, I would get a defensive loadout, just in case they were going to be at our base. I would have a reasonable way of keeping them away from the core, but I normally use the energy drink just for max healing. It's hard to tell because you don't always know who your teammates are going to be. If they're going to be assassins or tanks or just brawlers. I wish I especially knew who my enemies were before I joined the match. Now, by the looks of it, the enemy Voltar was more focused on his heal bot. He was trying to get his heal bot to be aggressive, but I found that's a bit of a rookie mistake. It's always the new support players. They try to be the people out in front. They try to get the most damage. They try to get the most kills. Yes, you do get more Solar as Voltar, but there's something you need to understand, that you are squishy. It's easy to kill you. You can be easily killed because you don't have much for defense. You can get defense, but strength and numbers. You can make your droids and your teammates more powerful. Push go on longer than usual, but you can't do much by being in front. If you're able to get a last hit, that's great, but you're making a lot of Solar anyway. So why do you need that extra 30 when your teammates can have it? Because normally, at the end of a match, you're usually 10 or 20 levels ahead of your teammates. Yes, your items are more expensive, but if everyone's doing a good job, it benefits your teammates more if they get that Solar instead. If you find a wave of droids coming towards you, get that pushback, get the blind shot, just paralyze them and push them back. Because if I didn't do it, that would have taken a lot of work for my teammates to do. And by the time they got there, it was just a few hits and they were all gone. If you think you're going to be rushed in, just hang on to your heal beam for a moment, and just wait until they try to get close to you, then push them away, then get the hell out of there. Now, I thought we were down here, but I managed to get there quickly enough and try to hold them back. Vinny got here in time, managed to hold them off and weaken down their Voltar, and that made a huge difference. We ended up being able to outlast them. We killed their Skull Deer, weakened down the rest of them, and once we got 2 of them down, we had to get to the other core and get there as fast as possible. Raylan was chasing Clunk throughout there. I tried to stay out of the way. I just took the shortcut, just make my way there as quick as possible. I didn't notice while playing. We managed to just get in the way and block him from getting through. To my amazement, we were just whittling down the core in no time. I am so happy I was able to record that. So I don't think I did too badly. I think I did quite well with who my teammates were, what characters they chose. And also considering the composition of the air team, that worked out quite a lot better than I expected it would. So that's all for this video. If you got anything to add, say what could have worked better, what item I could have used instead, or what any methods that could help, I would love to hear it. I would like to do more Awesomenauts video. I'm just gonna focus on support characters this time. Just try to keep it not too complicated. I don't want to do a bunch of specific videos and then have a patch make them outdated. Because if you look at my first videos and they are all outdated. Just about every item has been changed around. Not that I mind that. It's just I need to work on a method that can give good information and also make it fairly future-proof. But I don't mind having to make videos because it gives me something to do. I wouldn't mind doing more games in the future, but I'm just trying to keep things simple right now. I'm trying not to overwhelm myself like I did last time. But yeah, I'll be focused on Voltar, Genji, and Yuri for the time being. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching.